Okay. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi,
Is
Oksana.
it?
Hi, Marty.
Hi,
Hi.
Marty.
So today we are, chatting from three different places. I'm basically based in Reading, and you, Oksana, in
In Chicago.
Marty.
I'm in London.
Fantastic. Okay, so we are close but distant. We with a little bit miles, and with Oksana is from USA. Okay, guys, the topic we're going to talking today about self-healing energies and the tips for people that experiences lot of changes these days, especially with their own body, emotionally as well. So, who's the first?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. Margie, do you want to start or?
Yeah,
We all
you
have
can.
different kind of modalities. I mean, a little bit because everybody views it, in a different personal way, right? Based on the personal experiences and abilities. But what do you think? I mean, I can tell you my story. My story starts in 2016 when I had this awakening in the summer, and then I decided to explore a little was my in my subconscious. So I scheduled the session with this one regressologist, well known here. She lives in Miami. She came to Chicago. We did a session, and I discovered that I have this rainbow energy in me, which is healing, mostly in my hand. That I can concentrate it on the hands, and I've actually had it for years. I could hear in my head when my kids would be. Sick, that Oksana, you can heal with your hands, use them. But I would always ignore because, when you are asleep, you don't really believe that. Uh, yeah, but I always had this funny feeling like I had to not do it through any method, create my own, out of my own imagination, my own energies, like a creator. And so I pretty much what I do, I notice now, it happens there. It's like you go by intuition. When I do this regressive hypnosis sessions and I feel like the person is really traumatized and we have to continue the work in the astral after the session is done. So before I go to sleep, I automatically go to those people and check on them, and if I feel that they got some problem, then I would get back to close to them. We would connect through hands, or I would touch the energy sphere in certain points, power points, and they would just like forward the energy to them. But it's in the astral, and I know it helps because they actually tell me, they without even knowing I do it, that they feel better. So I think it's like an ongoing thing that people may not realize that that's what we do because we do care, afterwards too.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds fair enough, and I feel that with our own energy, when it's definitely we trust our energy and we can tune in, I think we can self-heal ourselves with, even some uncomfortable pain. Sometimes when I have stomach ache, I imagine that I have something like, the last time was like I had like a brick, a hot brick boiling in my stomach. And then I
Mhm.
imagine, okay, I put some fresh water and basically I cool down this brick and then I remove like a little
Mhm.
implant and I basically I squash this brick in my hands, becomes sand, and I threw to this black hole, this portal. And to be honest, after a few minutes, I feel
It
good.
works. Yeah.
So, I mean, the power of mind and the
Yeah.
conviction that we put in our, own power can be quite,
Intention and belief.
yes,
Hmm.
yeah. So, Mardi, what do you think?
Yeah, that's all makes sense. Looking at my own experiences from Reiki. Well, particularly interesting recently, I have this small benign cancer has been sort of checked and had various scans, ultrasound, and so on. first appeared a couple of years ago. Now, cancer is really interesting, and I think I've found this as a special challenge for myself, because you cannot use Reiki, the healing modality I use. You cannot use Reiki on cancer. What's unusual about cancer, and most people don't even know this, it is overgrowth of cells. That is the problem. It's not exactly it's not like most other illnesses. It's overgrowth. So it means that some part of your body is growing more than it should, actually. And why that makes it the nemesis, we call it the nemesis of Reiki, is Reiki makes things grow. The first summer after I got tuned as a Reiki master, I grew sunflowers in my garden. And these particular type of sunflowers are supposed to grow 7 feet tall. Now, after I planted them, I sent them Reiki every day, and they ended up growing 14 feet tall. So this is the power of Reiki, to my personal experience, that it makes things grow a lot. So, bringing this back to cancer. If you use Reiki on cancer, the cancer goes berserk and grows really big, really fast. I stumbled across this by accident. I was sending Reiki to a friend, and she'd been talking about health problems on Facebook. Well, I hadn't seen when she'd mentioned that she had suspected cancer. So I was sending her Reiki for migraines for a week, during which time the cancer went berserk for a week. It grew really fast. Now, I didn't know. And then luckily I saw her talking about problems with the cancer, and I was like, you didn't mention the cancer. And of course, now that is the top of the checklist. If I'm going to send Reiki to anybody, then I must know if there's any problems with cancer or leukemia, any overgrowth, overdevelopment type illnesses. So
Autoimmune,
yes, tumors, that kind of thing. These are all things growing too big, too fast.
at rapid speed, yeah.
Yes. So these are the things that need to be watched out for with Reiki specifically. I don't know how other modalities find cancer to deal with. But yeah, I was meditating with a Power of Eight group yesterday. We meditate together and we sort of send intentions to various ideas, various sort of incidents around the world. A Power of Eight group can work together in meditation for all kinds of things. So they've it's something that's been shared by Lynn McTaggart, who's a journalist. She has groups on Facebook talking about the Power of Eight, and so they have done meditations to reduce crime rate in particular areas. I think Chicago was one of the first places they did that, and basically, because she's looking to get details and statistics on each situation, she actually analyzes the statistics available from the police or from fire services or whichever area they're working in. And it always works. When they do meditation, they normally have a group of 50 or 100 people together. And that is noticed to have a bigger effect when they have a larger group. And so it does. I mean, they did a meditation to reduce conflicts in Syria. I think that was a couple of summers ago, and they actually watched the data of what was actually happening in the area at the time, and it was seen that the meditation had an effect every time that the problems would reduce. So so often the Power of Eight groups use the intentions to do healing for various people, and this is has been seen to be very effective on anybody who has cancer and asks for help with the Power of Eight groups. So yeah, I got some help with this yesterday, and while we were meditating for about 10 minutes, so they sent to me specifically, and when it had been hot and quite firm the beginning of yesterday, by the end of the meditation it has shrunk and gone and cooled. And I could feel it whilst meditating. It felt like there were people standing around me, with hands on my shoulders, and one finger brushing gently at this bump. And so quite an amazing session. So yeah, that's my experience with this. There are ways around the difficulty with Reiki. Yeah, it does have a nemesis, and so we have to be careful about, and that has to be, it's the first contraindication basically with Reiki is cancer of any kind. So yeah, that's my experience with self-healing, and on this is my present sort of research area, is finding out about cancer and how to deal with that. So yeah,
I was thinking, you guys, if you can channel about this, what I'm starting to, I was listening to you both. It's possible through Reiki, I mean, this powerful energy that we have um, to regress in the beginning of, example, your nodule. It starts because of, for a reason, yeah? And it's possible using this energy to basically to burn with this powerful healing, to burn the roots of, example,
You can
this. Yeah,
reverse the
I mean,
process.
I know, I understand what you say, because when the cancer is already on tumor, yes, I feel what you say is can be very dangerous, because we can amplify the energy. But if we regress, example, I focus on Mardi just 2 days before that this little seed started to grow. So we're
right.
going to do 2 days before to see what's happened to you 2 days before, and avoid or take it out of the seed, or maybe the energy of the seed, to find, attachment. And why, I mean, I don't know, maybe you had a bad day, maybe it was poorly,
Yeah,
maybe there
the
is
source
something. Yeah,
cause
the source, basically.
the
I don't know what you
feeling.
guys thinking, if it's possible, what you can channel about
Yeah.
that.
I feel like when you were talking about it, I remembered my grandmother. She was a doctor, and she had a tumor in her breast, and it was pretty big. But she read somewhere, she used to say pretty much that placebo effect is the effect of the power of the soul. But she would use different instruments, like she believed in herbs. And what she would do, she would slice the beets, right? Or squeeze the juice, put the juice on the cabbage leaf and put it on the breast. In a month, the tumor was gone, medical miracle.
Wow.
And when she was telling me this, when my mother was sick, my mother didn't have this determination and this belief in her. My mother, passed of cancer too. But my grandma never developed, her tumor never grew back because she said, Oksana, there's a difference. I believed 100% that this beet juice would dissimulate, disperse, they would make it shrink and it would go down to zero. She believed. Our belief is everything. We mold this reality. We fix ourselves. You don't even need to use any, like for me, I don't need to use Reiki or any other. I feel like my personal energy field, I just can concentrate the energy and shoot it like with my eyes closed in the spot I need to heal on my body. But everybody's a creator, so everybody can believe and use whatever technique or instrument he wants to. What is important is the end result, right?
Yes, I think so. The one more you believe, you trust yourself, that you are powerful, that you are your own creator, and you put this conviction. Yes, especially when probably not only early stages, but even like the example of your grandma, which she was definitely quite strong lady, and sometimes is even the part of ourselves that how much we want to heal, how much you believe in yourself.
Right.
If you are interfered or distracted, or maybe you really are skeptical about the techniques, about energy, because we are energy at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to use our energy. We have to don't let our energy waste, especially when we are angry, when we are sad, when we have a bad day, when we have an accident or traumas. Our energy basically is like goes down. This is what I feel, you know. It's like instead of 100%, I always have a this scale, and then you are, oh, today maybe I have 20 or 30% left. I mean, less in my body, so maybe I'm 70% of energy today, and still this affect. So because you see a person is low, even when you're just exhausted, you're tired, and the body needs to recharge the batteries. And many people, they, without to be conscious, basically they do through using, I don't know, techniques, art, sport, entertainment. Okay, but imagine, because they find this stimulating for the body. Imagine if you believe that you are here, the own source is here. You can anyway, you can use from here the source.
Yeah, it's all
Okay,
about the belief. It's
yeah.
truly like, you deal with clients too. Like those who come out of the session strong, believing in themselves, they always have perfect results. Those who start checking on the spot, is it still hurting or is it not? Why? And then they're writing, why is it still hurting? Or it's less, but it's still, and that with this doubt, it just cancels everything. It just destroys, like a destruction force for the results.
Exactly. Yeah. You guys, do you have any tips to give to the audience that is watching us, to how to start, the people that they're curious to how to use their own energy? What is the first steps? First, to believe in themselves, obviously, but even the people that they are a bit skeptical, how they can start to they use their own power.
Yeah. Little things, right? Just little manifestations, little like my head is hurting, but maybe if I've done this before actually. I would fill up the tub and would just like immerse myself, program the water with my mind. Okay, you're gonna take away my headache. Would just like
Wow.
put my head inside and stay there like as much as I could. And like you immerse it, something about the hot water also relaxes, and it just like it would stay that way. It would take any pain away.
Mhm.
And then I realized, hey, I don't need these instruments. Let me try just like you lay down, close my eyes, imagine see my energy body. First you imagine, because if you tell yourself, well, I can't see it, you'll never see it. Then
Mhm.
use your imagination. Imagination is the power that is the instrument that your soul uses too. So, and that they want us to believe imagination is nothing, just kid stuff, dragons and all this. But yeah, use your imagination. Imagine your energy hands take your pain away, form or something, a snowball out of it, throw it in the portal. You can draw a portal in the wall, throw it out, or transform it into love, into make it into a bird, a butterfly, whatever. Make it fly away. Yeah, it's kind of like a process. It's almost like a process that you go through, entropy of your own, get to understand more and more how it works. I feel like you have to go through all the stages most of the
Mhm.
time
Yes,
um, to understand.
definitely.
Yeah. Well, I come from the holistic healing perspective, and we start understanding medicine with the word dis-ease, which is it's like we call it a purloined letter. It's a thing that's hidden right out there in public. Um, so doctors use this word disease a lot, but until you break it in half and go dis-ease. So it basically means someone's not relaxed enough is why they get ill. Like they're not happy enough. And so it kind of points to the fact that all physical illness starts with a mental or emotional unhappiness. And basically that emotion or repeated thoughts get locked somewhere in the body. And there's a lot of wisdom about like the location of a physical disease and that telling a story about where the problem comes from emotionally. So, okay, so for example, I've been working with and someone gave me some healing for this cancer maybe a month ago, and it definitely shifted things. And they were oriented on my throat chakra, which is about communication, allowing emotions to flow. The problem I always used to have, certainly through my teens, is I never cried. For about 10 years, I never cried at all. And it was useful to me to have that sort of sense of strength, but it was also non-flowing energy. And everything needs to flow to be alive, to be, connected to the universe. You must let all your energies flow, all your emotions need an outlet. So one of the perspectives on cancer is it's locked anger. And that makes sense to me, that maybe I need to express anger a bit more. I tend to be gentle with people. And so maybe there's some accumulated anger. I'm trying to work out how it's accumulated so much, especially in terms of I'm always looking to keep the energy flowing. But yeah, those are two areas I definitely need to research a lot more because I don't know much about the throat chakra. It's never been an area of interest. So this might be for that purpose, to make me understand throat chakras, and emotional communication and telepathy is supposed to come from there. And I don't really have much telepathy, but I get occasional flashes of it. I've done in the last month or so. So I think there's a lot of tuning in that I need to do. Feelings are senses. I often say to people, emotions can be used to sort of measure the universe around you at various levels. So again, that's another level I need to open up to. What can anger be a sense? Is it a way of protecting yourself from potential dangers? And is that what's getting forward? Maybe I live in a place that's too safe. Maybe I need to get out on the savannah somewhere where there are lions or snakes or dangerous creatures, where my more aggressive energy could be a functional thing. It might be I'm too safe in my little box in London. So yeah, many perspectives.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, emotions are the cause for all the diseases or conditions. I agree with you, because that's what we do in sessions, right, Ephesia?
Yes.
We go to the cause, how it started, and then we try to, well, there's so many causes. I mean, sometimes a client has a lot of implants that would stimulate the anger issues, would amplify it, would cause it, right? But other times you can have a disincarnated stuck in your body too, who resonated with you at some point towards your emotion, hooked up to you. Basically, they hook up to you via emotion or mental thoughts. That's why we cleanse the mental and emotional bodies in the sessions, because you need to be clean and flowy, right? Free, like flowy energy, in order not to, and be in this balance, in this relaxed state. That's exactly what you said. So I agree totally. It just, there are different causes why you produce this or that emotion too.
Yeah. Oh, I was very interested as well, even the power of telepathy, even to fix things between people, because again, when somebody feel that the hatred feelings towards somebody, you produce emotionally a disease as well. It's a
Yeah.
disease, and you are sending telepathically to the person this emotion. And if the person is very empathic, I think you can feel it. What do you think, Mardi? Because you wrote a very interesting book that you can have a fantastic, beautiful, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's about the toxic people and empathic people, sociopathic, narcissist, psychopathic. And
Right.
I can telepathically with the people that are cut off emotionally, that they don't feel, that they just they self. I think they are very strong in somehow because they don't feel affected. You understand? Because they don't feel
Yeah.
like an empathic person, and but they still can probably, I think, vibrationally to be affected of external entities with the disease, the disincarnated that he was mentioning.
Right.
Okay, because they're not empathic, so somehow they have to let an entity in their body
Resonate.
because they are producing bad things. Bad thing is always the result of bad result in your body. But the empathic most of the time produce in self this disease and the plus or everything that is external because they are